Welcome to another special episode of One-on-One with Ladies in Tech, as we at PlusTV Africa are celebrating women in partnership with Techcabal. My name is Elsie Godwin. On this episode, we start with this interesting conversation with Ized, where she talked about zero entry barrier in the digital marketing business, balancing personal and professional life, and so much more. Ized is Director of Marketing, PR and Growth. She is a graduate of biochemistry. With 13 years postgraduate experience in marketing, she has spent the last 5 years changing the digital landscape through her work, using digital for advocacy and helping startups promote their business through digital. She has worked for and with multi-millionaire brands, both international and local, developing and working on a number of creative digital and offline marketing strategies to propel their brand forward. Thank you, Ized, for joining us on PlusTV Africa as we celebrate this beautiful month for women. So, I understand your job, what you do. You are typically, or a typical digital marketer. Like, you create content, you create ideas, and you make sure they run through and provide results. So I understand how challenging this can be, because I do a bit of that too. And then you have to always be on your phone, on your system. You have to be able to track these results and be sure whoever you are delegating them to are doing the right thing. So it is time consuming sometimes.
Yes, it is.
How do you balance it up with your personal life? I know you have a child and work, and you're almost everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, so I know it sounds cliche, but my work is my life. Mm-hmm. So I've sort of integrated, my entire life is built around my work, such that there's no balancing. Working is living, living is working, and we take it one day at a time. These days I'm more of a strategist than I am a marketer. So I'm typically just doing strategies and managing and consultancy work.
Okay.
So yeah, so I've been able to work it out such that, my life is work, work is life. It's in and around. I can actually do my work sitting in the toilet. Mm-hmm. I can do my work in the kitchen.
Now, because we can bring in work to the house now, there is no boundaries. And you can't say this is the time where I'm chilling or this is the time when I'm working. You're almost working every time.
Yes, my chill can be work. Okay. My chilling can be work. So sometimes I'm cooking and doing something in the kitchen, and I'm looking, and I'm tracking some sort of results. So digital marketing is such that you can do it from anywhere, and you can do it, while you're having like a personal life, or you can do it while you're working. So I guess finding the balance for me has been sort of just integrating both sides, personal and work.
Have you ever felt like quitting? And at those points, because I'm not going to wait for a yes or no, how did you keep going?
Some days you feel like quitting. Sometimes you feel like quitting every day. How did we keep going? We remember that we have school fees to pay. Mm-hmm.
So money is the motivation.
We remember that we have rents to pay. Not necessarily money, but the thing with digital marketing is it's a constantly evolving industry. It's a constantly evolving job. So you tend to, find the good in the tough, and then hope that tides you on to the next tough season, and then you keep going. But mostly these days it's been more interesting than, earlier on I wanted to quit almost every day, but these days it's, finding what's interesting about this day and then just going on with it.
Okay, so we know technology is the future of Africa.
It is the now of Africa, actually.
Are we catching up that fast?
We have to.
Or are we right now? Do you think we are measuring up, or we are leveling up?
I think that the faster we level up, the more there's like a brain drain happening. So we level up and then they take the top devs. So we level up and then the top devs go to Europe, to USA, to UK. We are giving the resources that we have at our disposal. We are doing our best at the moment. Mm-hmm. It is the now of Africa. Technology is not the future. It is. If we don't have technology right now, there's little that we can do, and so we need to catch up as fast as as possible.
In leveling up, in doing our best, are women involved enough?
Women are as involved as they can be, but there's still so much to do. It's typically why I have some bit of focus on bridging the digital gender divide, and doing a lot of training with women around how they can use digital media to boost their businesses and how they can connect and network globally and improve on whatever it is they're doing. Women are doing their best given the circumstances, but there's so much to do, so much. I mean, we're not 10% there yet, but
What do you want to break down this so much?
What I mean by so much is there's still a lot of people to reach, especially with regards to people in the areas that have little or no technology yet, especially digital. So there's still so much people to reach. There's even in Lagos, last year I did a digital marketing training for business women. We typically just went to the market. We went to Oshodi Axis or Jota, and we had a lot of women sign up, and we trained them on how to use digital marketing to do their business. And I was shocked that there are people who haven't heard of Facebook. It's not in Lagos. That was first touch point. That was first introduction to world of digital marketing. We connected a lot of people to Facebook, to other social media channels, and we told them how they can promote their businesses on social. The thing is, a lot of them caught on faster than we thought. We typically thought it would take longer, maybe a month or two, but in 2 classes, 3 classes, they were good to run.
But these women, they had smartphones.
They had phones.
Not smartphones.
Not all had smartphones.
Okay.
We were able to get a lot of them on social. We were able to get them in groups, in communities that would help them promote their businesses. And we've gotten quite a lot of interesting feedback. Some people are selling handmade beads outside the country. They're selling in the US. They're selling, and they are oh my God, what have we been doing since? That's exactly the thought we had when we tried to get them online. So there's a lot to do in terms of bridging the digital gender divide. Okay,
so if you could, what advice would you give yourself 5 years ago?
Work-wise or relationship?
Both, now that you brought relationships. So tell us work and then tell us relationship.
Work-wise, I would say just take it easy, everything good will come. Because 5 years ago was about the time I got into digital. I was in a state of constant, I can't even place it. I was worried about being able to make it in the industry. I was worried about doing enough to make it. And it's been a good run for the past 5 years.
Okay.
Relationship-wise, nah.
No, you brought it, so you have to tell me.
Damn that idiot. No, but 5 years ago, relationship-wise, it's just the same work. Everything good will come. So
you promote tech products. I mean, I know you're a digital marketer, but I think your core has really been promoting some products that has to do with tech, either via movement or something that has to do with tech that is basically changing the lives of citizens. So what is the most fascinating thing when you have to promote a tech product? For you, I mean, for me, from experience.
I tend to promote a lot of things besides tech products, but yes, I have a lot of experience promoting tech products. And for me, it's the most fascinating thing for me in digital marketing is actually turning a skeptic to a believer. It's an amazing thing to watch. It's cool, really. So you meet somebody who will swear, I will never use that product, no, ever, never. And then pretty soon you've sold them, and then they're using the product, and not only using the product, they're telling other people this is the best thing to do. So fascinating to watch that transformation about how you tell a story and about a product that people just buy into and people want to use without necessarily saying come and buy. So I know that if you push things in people's face, come and buy, they tend to, but when you tell a story and take them through that journey of these product sales, and you never use the word come and buy, but you transform skeptics to believers, it's very fascinating.
So in this line of business, which would you say is more difficult creating the concept or executing that concept in the right way which you perceived it or conceived it in the first place, which has proved more difficult for you, especially working with people, influencers, platforms, which has been more difficult for you?
Execution will be more difficult. Creating ideas are a lot, and they're everywhere. They are bound, and you can go online and pick an idea from here and pick an idea from here and come up with a creative strategy that will blow people's minds. And you have that on paper. Mm-hmm. That's pretty straightforward, but then executing it, because now you're dependent on, it's not just about you anymore. It's now about maybe the billboard company, mm-hmm. maybe the company who's supposed to put ads on the BRT, and then you're working with all of these different sects of people, and somebody somewhere decides not to do their job, or you're working with maybe you're having an event to promote and then maybe ushers do not show up, or anything could go wrong, anything. And when anything can go wrong, a lot actually tries to go wrong. Mm-hmm. So the execution is typically the more difficult. Not necessarily difficult, but just the more difficult to control aspect of the business. Strategy and creating the concept is not as difficult as the execution, because now you're dependent on a lot of people. So execution will be the more difficult to control.
As a director of marketing, PR, and growth, you've done this for years. And we are in an industry whereby you see anyone with a smartphone and an internet, and they can tell you, I'm a PR person or I'm a digital marketer. So how has this zero barrier to entry affected the industry, and how does it affect those that really understand the job?
I like how you said zero barrier to entry, because the fact that it has zero barrier to entry means that a lot of people can get into digital marketing. I mean, if there are 1 million digital marketers, we'll all make it. So that's what I believe. And that's why DigiClan was conceived. The idea of DigiClan was conceived so that you can help both the enthusiasts, the beginners, and the experts. Everybody helps everybody, and so the zero barrier to entry makes it a good thing, but it then sort of starts to spoil the name of the people who are doing the good work. Okay. So you meet with a client who says, "Oh no, I don't want to do digital marketers. The last person I dealt with, messed up my business and didn't do such a good job." Mm-hmm. And then you have to do 2 jobs, do the work, and then prove to them that digital marketing is not necessarily bad for their business. You don't take on a job that you cannot do. I know you want to be, you want to make money, or you want to make a name for yourself, but don't take on a job that you cannot do. So if you're going to take on a job, you have to do research. You have to find out what the client needs. You have to research target audience. You have to research, the products that the client is selling, and then give it your best. Okay. Give it your best strategy, and then trust. Now, the wages of digital marketing is trust. People get paid in trust on social media. So if you do a good job, people tend to trust you. And if they trust you, you probably will not be looking for jobs anymore. I don't think anybody should do digital marketing without data and analytics. But people throw it out all the time. So data-driven social media marketing is what I will typically
so when I see conversations on social medias, I mean, in those conversations, you tend to see people say, or use the phrase, women supporting women. Now, what does that mean to you, and how is it playing out in the industry?
That's a strong question. Women supporting women will most likely be a driving force in getting more women in STEM, in technology, in digital marketing industry, if they got a lot of support from other women, because women tend to, word of mouth carries faster than somebody putting it online. So I guess when women support women, we can drive more participation, more female participation in STEM, in technology, in digital. So that's how I would typically answer the question. But I've been lucky to get support from both sides.
What message do you have for the girl child that is probably aspiring to be an Ized, or just wanted to break into the tech industry?
I mean, go for it.
Okay.
Go for it. Leave. Don't let anything and anyone stop you from pursuing your dreams. I've been in places where they tell girls, no, you can't do that because, you're a girl, or you can't do that because, don't listen to anybody who says you can't do anything that you want to do. Go for it. The worst that can happen is you will fail, but you will get up and you will try again, and then you do better, and you will learn from your failures. And every failure is a preceding step to your success. So go for it.
We hope to see you doing more for women in technology.
We are definitely going to try.
Thank you for being on PlusTV Africa.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back. You're watching PlusTV Africa. Remember our conversation with sickle cell warrior and co-founder at Field Insight, Toyin Oshinawo? Interestingly and coincidentally, we have got another sickle cell warrior. She's passionate about letting people know that one can live a rich life even when living with sickle cell, and a passionate advocate for women in technology. With over 20 years of work experience with many businesses, Banke Alawaye is mostly known for being an expert in exploiting digital tools for business growth. She is a chartered management consultant, has a BSc in computer science, a master's in business administration from Edinburgh Business School, Scotland, and a certificate in entrepreneurial management from Pan-African University's Enterprise Development Center. She's currently CEO, Innovative Solutions, an emerging digital consultancy based in Lagos, Nigeria. Hello, Banke. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Elsie.
So you're especially passionate about letting people know that one can live a rich life even with sickle cell. And I spoke to Toyin Oshinawo in the last episode, and she was very clear when she said she sees sickle cell as a disability. Do you agree with her?
Well, yes.
Okay.
I understand where she's coming from when she says it's a disability. I mean, having a chronic condition definitely affects the way you live life. It affects the things that you can do and how you can do them. But what I've come to realize is that you can also still, with that sickle cell, still manage to do all the things that you want to do. I've been working for over 25 years now. I don't think sickle cell has adversely affected my rise in my career. I traveled, I have a daughter, I do things that everybody else does. So yes, you can still balance it out. Yes, there are things that you wouldn't do or you would do differently. Obviously, you have to manage the condition, there's medication, there's doctor's appointments and all sorts of things that you do have to do. So there's the extra layer of care when you have sickle cell, but then it doesn't stop you from living a regular life.
Okay, so what does your job entail?
Wow. Okay. So that's a really hard question because I wear many hats. Mm-hmm. So as CEO Innovative Solutions, I work with small businesses on digital transformation. And that's basically about them applying digital tools to doing business more efficiently and more effectively. And for that, my job really entails, well, one, keeping abreast of what's happening in digital world, in technology, knowing what tools are available for my clients, knowing what, so that I can give them the best advice. I spend a lot of time in my clients' business, understanding their business so that I can choose the right tools that will help them work more efficiently.
So you're mostly known for being able to use digital tools to grow businesses. Yes. Can you break down what these digital tools are, for the layman out there?
Well, when I say digital tools, and I think that sometimes we think that technology is always something really complex, but it's not complex. Digital tools is everything from your email to cloud computing to actual tools that you use if you, for example, if you're a manufacturing company and then you have machinery that is computerized. So it's everything from that spectrum of the simple everyday tools, even your mobile phone, there's so many things that you can do with that as a small business that can make you more efficient and more effective.
So for business owners who think they do not need digital, or let's say digital tool for anything, how easy is it to convince them, and what would you say they are missing right now?
I think for a lot of people, the first thought is that I won't get it. It's too difficult. It's complex. I don't understand what this is about. And so there's a little bit of a fear to even find out what is needed and what can be done. But I find that once I start to explain it and I can show them examples and I can walk them through it in simple ways, they start to think, oh, okay, is that all? Oh, all right, I can do that. So it's usually, it's just a process of showing and explaining and just letting people understand that some of these things you think you can't do, you're already doing. If you have a smartphone, a lot of these things you think you can't do, you are already doing.
So artificial intelligence, that's like the new core. How is it affecting the landscape, and how would you say the acceptance is in this part of the world?
I think that artificial intelligence covers, well, a whole gamut of things. Again, you know, with technology, we go from the simple to the very complex. So for your average small business, it could be anything from building a chatbot for their business, which literally just takes care of customer service, or automating their processes. So where are we with artificial intelligence? The field is growing. The applications of it are endless. Every day we're seeing new ways in which artificial intelligence is affecting our lives, from entertainment to actual work. I mean, even just the fact that you can make intelligent searches with Google Home and things like that. You know, all those things are powered by artificial intelligence. For my small business users, most of the time, I'm even just trying to get them to accept what a chatbot can do. Just the Facebook Messenger chatbots, and how that just makes their customer service a bit easier for them, less, it's more cost effective, and it just means that they are available 24/7 to their clients without physically being there.
So aside being an advocate of letting people understand that sickle cell is not a death sentence, I know you're also an advocate for women in technology, and recently you won an award. I mean, you were recognized as a digital frontier woman, you know. So what would you say is missing right now if you want more women to come into the industry? What would you say should be done? How do you catch them? Do we catch them young? Can we catch them at any age? What should be done?
Absolutely, I think we should catch them young. I think a lot is being done now. More women are coming forward and talking about their experience. And I think for the young girls who are interested in technology or just showing an interest in computers and what can it do, seeing women who are doing well, who are succeeding, and who seem to be having fun in life, you know, because there's this stereotype of, oh, science is not for girls and it's only for the guys. And then some people think if you're a woman in tech, maybe you're not really a regular woman. So I think it's really important for young girls to see that there's a whole gamut of people in tech, and people just like you are doing it and can do it. And then that helps them to see that it's possible for them to do it. So I think it's important that we catch them young, actually. But then it's never too late. At any age, if you want to pick up an interest in tech, you want to develop the interest you've always had, you want to switch careers, technology covers so many things. So you don't necessarily have to be a programmer to be a woman in tech. There's so many things that fall under technology nowadays, and even just the digital space of social media marketing, mobile marketing. There's so many things that you can get involved in that takes you closer to being a woman in tech.
So your work experience spans through investment banking, software development, management consulting, digital marketing. So how would you say tech connects us all, connects everything we do, and then connects us?
Wow. Technology affects everything that we do. From basically nowadays, we all, even the phones that we use, we all communicate with our phones, whether it is by text messaging, voice calls, or even on social media. All that underpins that is technology. Your work, you're using your computer, even if it's just to do documents and spreadsheets, it's all technology. The things that we do, the things that creates the elements that we use every day. So from fashion to music, technology is there. It's enabling, it's making processes easier, it's reducing manufacturing costs. It affects every single thing that we do.
The way you speak, I can see the passion and the fun you mentioned, you know. Yes. So I would like to know if you faced any form of discrimination. while, I mean, it's a male-dominated
Yes.
industry. So have you faced any form of discrimination, and if any, how did you handle it?
I think I've been lucky. I wouldn't say that I've faced discrimination. Yes, there have been times when I've been the only girl in the room, and that is sort of, sometimes you notice it and you're a little uncomfortable, like, where is everybody else? And of course, when you're the only girl in the room, sometimes, I mean, us girls, we have a way that we talk, our jokes, and you can't have that kind of banter.
It's uncomfortable, the only feeling you get.
Like I said, I have been lucky that I haven't actually faced any major issues in the workplace.
Okay.
But I understand that it's very hard to get your voice heard in a male-dominated industry, even if you're part of a team that is all men. If the team leader is not sensitive to the fact that I only have one female here, or the female are in the minority, you may find that the male voices always dominate. But I was lucky in that in my career, when I started out in technology and I was a junior programmer in a room full of men, they actually helped me, and I didn't feel that discrimination. But I understand that there are people who have gone through that.
Okay, so if you're going to advise a young girl or a young lady who's looking up somebody like you to say, I want to get to where this woman be, I want to also be called CEO, you know, in the tech industry.
Yes.
What are the attributes you would say, don't let this go? And what set skills would you also say, please start from here, grow to this point, and move on with your career?
I think I would just say have a good work ethic.
Okay.
And be open to learn, be willing to learn. You never stop learning. Even at this stage in my career, I don't feel like I know everything. I'm always learning, whether it's new technology or whether it's even just learning new behavioral skills from the people around me. So don't stop learning. Don't ever think that if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Go somewhere else where somebody else can teach you something. Don't stop learning. But always also work hard at it.
I know you're part of a training for young girls, and also you're part of another training which is targeted at training a certain number of people before 2020. Now, these trainings, are they basic, or do you think these trainings are enough to push anyone to the next level of their career?
It depends on, I mean, obviously your entry level, but the trainings, so if we're talking about Code Lagos, the training that you get in Code Lagos is basic. And it's basic in that we are looking to expose 1 million people to coding education so that they can develop an interest in careers in coding. So when we go to the primary and secondary schools, the training is a little basic, but then the out of school for the older people, yes, they're entry level, but it's enough for you, it's enough skill for you to then go on to a job where you're going to learn more to get an entry level position. So that it's not that basic that you can't do anything with it.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
It's been lovely to talk to you. Thank you, Elsie.
That's it on this episode. Stay tuned to PlusTV Africa as we bring you more conversations with some of our favorite women in technology. Don't forget to follow us on PlusTV Africa at PlusTV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do not forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTV Africa. My name is Elsie Godwin.